The NBA's biggest fear just came true last night, and I think everybody was kind of hoping that the Pacers won the finals so that we wouldn't have to deal with an extremely long reign of the Oklahoma City Thunder. But here we are. They're one game away. They have a 26-year-old that just won the MVP, a 23-year-old that just dropped 40 in the biggest game of his career, and they've got a squad that won 68 games, was one of the most dominant regular season teams of all time, and only one of their top 10 scorers is over the age of 27. And on top of that, they have a war chest of draft picks upcoming and still are $17 million under the first apron. Seriously, who is taking down this team? Jaylen Williams last night was just simply incredible, doing a little bit of everything. He finished with 40 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal in 35 minutes, and he did that while shooting 14 of 25 from the field and 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, almost a 60% mark in both categories. And he was a monster in transition, getting out and running, OKC forcing turnovers, which is what they do best, and then turning those turnovers into instant offense. They played at the 5th fastest pace this year, and Williams is really an elite cutter. It wasn't just all in transition. Watch this right here. He's supposed to be going to set a flare screen and away screen, whatever you want to call it, for SGA, and instead you can see him talking. He's like, hey, come here, I'm setting you a screen, and then he just slips it right to the rim because Neesmith is ready to help out with Nembhard on the screen. He gets downhill and finishes with the left-handed layup. And then once again right here, Halliburton overplays, and that's a big-time dunk. His eyes were at the rim right there. I didn't know he could get up like that. This one was as well, not as emphatic, however. And then just once again, going backdoor, the Pacers were really overplaying, and that was the adjustment that he made, was making them pay for overplaying. He was also 3 for 5 from beyond the arc, like we talked about here, working off of SGA and all the attention that he creates. I really liked how SGA made the right play last night, and we'll talk about that in a second. But Jaylen Williams, like we said, 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. If he's hitting from beyond the arc, it makes him so much tougher to guard because that makes him so much more deadly in the high pick and roll. Like right here, where he's just going to get downhill on Tony Bradley, of all people, UNC legend, in a hurry and get to the rim and finish with that left hand. And then right here, spinning off the screen, it looks like it's a little bit of a Spain action because SGA looks like he was going to set this screen and then pop. Chet never really comes, though, and so now he's got a one-on-one with Nembhard getting downhill. A shot blocker and Miles Turner trailing, so he hits him with the slow 1-2 and gets it to go. And then once again, working off of SGA, getting to the rim, and then just purely iso ball. This is a fantastic defender in Aaron Neesmith as well. And I mean, such a tough bucket. 3:46 left in the finals. You win this game, you're most likely winning the series, and a little half spin fadeaway. Ridiculous stuff. And on top of the adjustment we talked about earlier with the Thunder back cutting when the Pacers were overplaying, they were able to put their foot on their throats in this game. Pascal hits this 3 to cut it to 2, and everybody from Indiana, OKC, New York, Cleveland, they're all thinking, here we go again. But OKC is able to put their foot on the throat and put this game away. SGA making correct read after correct read. Jaylen Williams knifing through this defense and picking them apart. And then the defense, it was phenomenal. Pressure burst pipes, and yeah, Indiana's pipe got burst last night in a big time way. Instead of, kind of coasting and stuff, they kept their foot on the gas. Alex Caruso, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. You don't see that kind of stuff in the NBA anymore. And then this Lou Dort 3 makes it a 15-point game. So instead of letting the Pacers, chip away and come back, they flipped the script. And they did it in a big-time way in this all-important Game 5 where whoever wins is most likely winning it all. And like I said, Shai was good last night. He got overshadowed by J-Dub, but still 31 points in, like we said, a big-time series clinching Game 5 potentially is huge. He had 10 assists as well. Like I said, I loved his playmaking, like you just saw the pass to Lou Dort. Finished with 31 and 10, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and 4 blocks. People were calling him an overrated defender, and he responded with 6 stocks. 9 of 21 from the field, 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. We will not be talking about free throws today. If y'all want to talk about free throws, go down to the comment section below. That's a ridiculous bucket right here. When he's not foul baiting, he is absolutely the epitome of pure basketball. That is so beautiful right there. Getting to a spot in the mid-range. He's the best mid-range scorer I've ever seen especially at the elbows. And then this high pick and roll is just really tough to guard, but Indiana guards it so wrong. Like, Ben Mathurin is way too far back. He should be where that red X is, and instead he's way too far back, letting Shai get ahead of steam and getting downhill, because Shai can go either way that he wants, and Ben Mathurin really can't do anything about it. That's horrific defense. I'll show you a good example here in a second, but Shai continuing to get downhill, down the stretch. That made it a 15-point game again, jumping the passing lane right here. Nembhard kind of threw the game away. I'm not going to lie. He had a bunch of turnovers late, and Shai was the beneficiary right there. And then breaking down the defense, like we talked about, and finding Lou Dort in the corner. Tyrese, Nesmith, and Nembhard all break down, all collapse on him, and he just kicks it to Lou Dort for the easy 3-ball. Lou Dort was pretty quiet before that right there. And then right here, this is exactly how you guard it. This is what Tyrese needs to do when you're coming off of this pick and roll with Shai, but they just need to switch that, because now Lou Dort is wide open. Instead of trapping Shai, you're giving up Lou Dort a wide open 3 who's been really shooting it so far in these playoffs. And then the final member of this young Oklahoma City Big Three, Chet Holmgren. We've seen young Big Threes in OKC before. They weren't able to get it done, but this one looks a little bit different. And how did he make this? Ridiculous. That's what happens when you come from the trenches. But Chet Holmgren finished with 9 points, struggled a little bit on offense, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and 3 blocks. Finally hit a 3 here. Didn't get one to go last game. Had him on my parlay. Didn't quite work out. 4-15 from the field, 1 of 3 from beyond the arc. So yeah, he struggled offensively. Defensively, though, he was fantastic. OKC's rim protection was leveled up this game, as you can see, getting the block against Miles Turner right there. Then denying Aaron Nesmith and getting a solid closeout on him. And then once again against Siakam, going for the kill, but he gets the block. Him and Lou Dort combined, and then finally got something to go on the offensive end. Just put his head down, tried to get to the rim, and finally rebounds it and puts it in the basket. But like I said, this Big Three looks like they're going to be able to accomplish what the other Big Three was not able to. And going forward, they have plenty of cap space. Cap space was the issue last time they had a Big Three in OKC, but this time they're $22 million over the salary cap, but they're still $17 million under the first apron. Their best free agent this offseason is literally Asian Duke Dennis. They'll be just fine. And then they have a war chest still of draft picks. Have 5 first-rounders next year potentially. They'll get that Jazz pick, which I believe is top 8 protected. The Philadelphia pick is top 4 protected. They do have to send a pick to Washington, but that's probably going to be either 28, 29, or 30. In 2027, they have the potential to have 3 first-round picks as well, depending on what year that Denver pick gets conveyed, and then they'll have another 3 in 2028, as well as 1 more in 2029. So still a war chest of picks. Sam Presti with an all-time NBA rebuild. Every NBA exec should be taking notes from Sam Presti right now, and then, going out and getting Hartenstein. That's turned out to be a fantastic offseason addition. Hartenstein and Caruso making this team one of the best of all time. Hartenstein's a fantastic passer. That's one of the big things that he brings to this squad. And we talked about the cutting from J-Dub and others. Aaron Wiggins, he was the 55th pick in the draft, so he doesn't always need first-round picks to make an impact. But Aaron Wiggins had, 14 points last night, a few rebounds as well. He was a big-time factor off the bench. And then Cason Wallace, who has been a phenomenal defender all throughout these playoffs, was able to knock down a few threes and get to the rim a little bit, on top of, like we said, the fantastic defense. He can facilitate here and there, but the three-point shooting, the development for him has been what has been special so far from this Thunder team. And like we talked about, that defense, it's guaranteed that at least 2 of these 4 guys are going to pop off during the game at some point in the finals. You just don't know who. That's what makes betting on this team such a nightmare. But yeah, OKC, I think they're going to do it. I think they clinch it in Game 6, especially with the Halliburton injury. Shai Team 6 has taken out the Halliburton. What do y'all think, though? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Make sure to leave a like. We're looking for 300 likes on today's video. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.